Okay, here's the FirstSurge surge protector. Came in that box. All it comes with is this. Here's the tail on it. You'll notice there's a female threading in there. I bought this from a local hardware store, big box store, 3/4 inch nipple in the electrical department and a 3/4 inch bushing. I use plastic. This is my 100 amp panel. If yours doesn't look like this, find a video that matches your panel. You see there's two hot legs coming in, 1 and 2, and this is your ground or neutral. If you're not familiar working here, this is a death or injury or destruction of your house in here. So if you're not comfortable with it, pay an electrician an hour or 2 to come out and do this. It should be a minimal charge. I need a spare 2 spots in a row. What you'll notice there is that is one leg there and that's the other. So when you just come off one, it's 110 volts. And that is for your outlets, for your lights, that sort of thing. When you put 2 together, that's like for your dryer or your range or furnace. That's 220. So 110 plus 110. We got to protect both legs. That's where we'll be going. We need to go through this knockout. They say you can put it inside of here, but then you can't see the lights if you got this properly close. So I'm going to mount it out here on the wood, and then we'll go from there. So I hit this knockout. See, this is a 3/4 knockout. Goes in here. I'm going to carefully remove it, and that's where that nipple's going to go. Okay, so the knockout is out. We've screwed this nipple into the box. Then we'll feed these wires through that hole carefully to the other side, and then we'll secure it with a bushing on the other side. Okay, I thought that was just a 1/2 inch there. I had to widen this hole with a stepper bit, is what that's called. So that would go in there, and then you see this gap back here. We're going to go ahead and shim this with some wood so that it's even and unstressed, because that's construction work. You got to be ready to improvise. We put the plastic bushing on there, and here's our wires. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, we've terminated the neutral white one and the green, the bond, onto this bus bar, the neutral bus bar, which is that, because you'll notice this bond is also on there, so all that's common. Sometimes they might be separate, but it's common here, so it's the same thing. And then this A and C wire, those labels were down here. I moved them up because they say to cut these as short as possible. Okay, I've got the breakers wired up. We'll make sure they're both off. Switch down, and then we'll snap them into position in there. Okay, A and C are wired. You are here for the smoke test. We'll flip them on and see what happens. There's A, there's C. We got our greens. So it looks like it's working. I'm going to vacuum out my crud as well as some others, and this should be installed and fine. Okay, I'll vacuum down to start putting the panel cover back on. If something doesn't jive, it's like, oh, we got to do these 2 knockouts for the new breaker. Okay, all buttoned up. We labeled it FirstSurge A and FirstSurge C to correspond to the lights. I'll work, and I'll leave the documentation down here so if someone does a search for what the breaker says, they'll know what this is. And I'll pick up a blank to cover that knockout I mangled trying to put that nipple in the wrong place.